All right. Let me warm up by the fire. Good Lord in heaven. This woman's place is huge. You said she's an author? How in the name of sweet baby Jesus does an author make enough money to buy her own forest in the middle of New Mexico?
Yeah, she's only the most famous conspiracy writer turned horror author of the century, Ralph. Show some fucking respect, Ralph. She's a fucking legend, Ralph. She was on Coast to Coast a decade ago. A fucking decade ago. And even then she was spitting absolute truths. Like, time isn't linear, it's empathic. The moon's a mirror. No one was entertaining ideas like her about the moon chain or how the earth evolved. The earth itself, Ralph. Not man, certainly not animal. And how did it evolve? Emotions, Ralph. This woman basically modernized all of Tesla's harmonic mapping. She did it all on acid from the CIA at Montauk. She's mainlining truths of the universe, Ralph. Blavatsky doesn't have shit on my gal, Dr. Vale here.
Whatever. You said we could camp here and you would bring the beer if I helped you. These pages were scattered outside the mansion. Had to climb over a trap wire to get at them. I even seed a squirrel get itself blowed up by a landmine. That's some real owl farm compound energy in that place. It looked like them pages blew out the second-story window, but I'm not going back through, no siree. I was picking up them pages. Must have been 2 o'clock in the morning when suddenly the light started flickering like in one of them old horror shows just before a spirit shows up. Even worse, I heard a creepy voice like the devil's own telling me to read the story. Well, I wasn't waiting around to see no devils, no siree. I packed up my stuff and I got out of there. I don't know who this Miss Dr. Vale is, but she spent a pretty penny on protecting her properties and...
Whoa. What the fuck is that, Ralph? Did someone follow you? I just saw something out there, Ralph. Did she have guards or something? I don't know. I just thought it was a compound. Oh, fuck, what is that? It's pointing at the pages.
Please, do it again. Tell me the story.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Mr. Devil, I can't read these. They're too soiled, too dirty.
I think it wants you to read, Ralph. Read.
Oh, Father in heaven. But Mr. Devil, I don't even understand who these characters are. Oh, Lord, all this dirt. Okay. Father in heaven, give me sight beyond sight so that I may read these pages. Oh, Lord. Okay. 2/3 of our truth-seeking triumvirate, Fruman and Fredrickson, alongside with a trepidatious Cardiff, made their way downstairs to check on Springfield. Hunched over his desk, madly scribbling, each hand writing separately out notes and formulas, Springfield seemed totally lost. It looked like he was even asking for help with his left hand, scrawling out a pleading message. At that point, everything went up in flames as our valiant hero, FP, misread the Springfield situation through basement windows and decided to burn the whole thing down. Cans of gas were kicked into the windows and gunfire erupted in a second that felt like an eternity. Each person present, FP, Fruman, Fredrickson, Cardiff, and Springfield, experienced each other's entire personal reality from birth to now. Every flicker of unrequited love, a slow dance cut short, a goodbye never answered, a lifetime spent watching someone else be happy. They felt every awkward, gnawing failure, stammering in front of a crowd, a first date ruined by nerves. I love you, returned with a thanks. I know that one. They relived life-defining hurt, the betrayal of friends, the silences that followed funerals, the moments they stopped being someone's child, and eventually they felt each other's triumphs. The time a word landed just right, the first breath after nearly dying, the quiet joy of a decision made together in solidarity. Oh, that's nice. And then the life-altering FP watching his gang, his family, die from whatever smoking monstrosity escaped from the underground chamber that night. Fruman, clutching the blood-slick handle of a chainsaw in the ruins of a makeshift church, screaming into the night against half-men that whispered his name. And Fredrickson, eyes locked with something ancient and green and burning in Chalice, Idaho, standing firm as the world ignited around him and saying, "Enough!" Each vision layered, recursive, inescapable. It was too much, and something else noticed. Unfortunately, this seemed to attract the attention of something else, something old, and something huge. Something slithering its way through multiple realities, brushing up against every molecule of FP's being. The thing took off into the night towards the lake, and FP ran behind it, firing off like a deranged Yosemite Sam, leaving the other two agents trapped in a quickly worsening conflagration. Well, that was a night. Wait, no, that's all. God, Lord, no. But there's no more. There's no more.
No, babe, I said it. All right, I'm going to make a drink. Bye. So I don't think anybody hit a breaking point, but if they did, we should address that. And then the other part of, for whatever reason, coming up against whatever this thing has like irrevocably has irrevocably changed, altered your lives, and you're all going to get rid of a bond.
Okay.
Instead of taking our damage?
Nope. Take the sand too. And then the other thing is you are now going to each have a bond, if you don't already, that is each other. And unfortunately, I think we're going to put Cardiff in there too.
That makes sense.
Yep. And so everybody has those. We'll see if the Cardiff one means anything in the future. And then I think the description for that is that you guys feel like as you're all doing your kind of fight, flight, and freezing. Springfield is freezing. He's kind of just stuck at that desk as the flames start to engulf him. So I think what we're going to do is as that happens, or what the experience of that is like a profound sense of loss of something very deep to yourself. And that's going to be something we will explore in your home scenes. But for now, you guys are freaking the fuck out. So knowing that we have a fight, we have a flight, and we have a freeze, and Cardiff is also flighting, what do you think is going to happen? Because I think we're going to like fade to black on all of you guys having a temporary insanity kind of thing, and then we're going to go to where each of you are.
What do you mean? What do we think is going to happen?
So I think I understand what you're saying. So essentially my thing was I felt this weird entity rush past. I critically failed 2 things in a row and lost a shitload of sanity. So now I am fighting, but I just had this weird like all is one is all moment shared consciousness with the 3 people that I was previously terrified of and thought were all in some cult conspiracy together. But then there's this thing that rushed past and then it rushed down the street, I thought.
Yeah.
And so I'm essentially running down the street in a fit of madness. And FP kind of has like 2 modes. He has his usual like I'm chill FP mode, but then he has his sometimes like I'm honestly a drug dealer and a bad guy and I've done bad things. And so in his fight mode, he's like, I'm going to get my money from this piece of shit. And so he's like chasing this cosmic entity down the street, guns drawn, probably like firing at shadows.
Hell yeah.
Trying to get like whatever this thing is.
Cool.
So when FP starts burning down the house, I think he is sort of having a mix of 2 things happen, where he is having some flashbacks to when he got like the original burns that he got back like in his like origin story of like wildfires and being like kind of stuck out there. But then also he sort of has a feeling of like always wanting to save people, and this guy's now saying like writing please help me, and so he's sort of stuck in this like loop of reliving past traumas and trying to figure out a way to get everybody out of there, but unable to actually act on anything.
Cool. And what do you think? Where do you think Fruman is like running to?
So what Fruman is doing is Fruman has sort of like visualized all these like mathematical formulas and is like, I don't really understand what's happening here, but this is fucking wild. And so he, with his breaking point, just goes and like, even if Homeboys is like writing, he just like takes all of the papers, anything else that he can find, and then cartoon style arms full of shit.
Yeah. With like the
It's just
bongos that play in
running,
Scooby-Doo.
and then like with the flames, like there's some papers flying off behind him over his shoulder and shit, and he's just trying to get out with whatever he can. And so I don't know, I think that he probably has like some sort of like directionality to be like, this is the way that I get out with my arm full of shit.
Cool. I love that. Well, we're going to, I think, what we're going to do is, I guess, unfortunately, we're all together, but I think we're going to separate off for like 10 minutes apiece with each person, if that's okay. Can we start with Aubrey, if that's okay?
Sure.
3340638810.
Here's what I need you to do, Obs.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to roll me first a luck roll.
Pass. 49 on a 60.
Cool. And then I need you to roll me a constitution.
Constitution. Pass. 25 on a 50. Wow.
Nice. Oh, I love that. Okay. Here's what you're going to see before things kind of fade to black for you, right? You are frozen, stuck between two very different actions, right? Both kind of core to who you are as a human being, at least at this point in your life, unfortunately. Kind of like a core driver and then a core scar that you have. So stuck between those, I think I imagine you just like frozen in fucking place, maybe looking back and forth between Cardiff, who's kind of taken off, and Fruman, who's now taken off, right?
Yeah. And then
Springfield, who's just sitting there. And you're watching the flames and get closer and closer. And you see the beginnings of the flames hit Springfield, and he doesn't even fucking move. Like nothing is happening. He is just staring off. I'm not going to make you roll Sandy or anything for this, because this is all part of like what you're
everything
dealing
that's
with.
going on.
Yeah,
at
I think
once.
so. I think slowly you realize that being stuck between these two worlds is going to cost you a lot. And as the smoke fills up the basement, I think you pass out, fade to black, and then, eyes kind of waking up. You wake up to an ambulance outside in a fire truck. They're putting out the fire. There's a bunch of people out there. There's like a cop car, or probably multiple cop cars. There's the fire truck that's putting the fire out. And then there is an ambulance, and they're checking you over. And I think there's a guy who comes out, a younger guy, who's just like, "Sir, are you okay? And then from the behind you, you hear, "Yeah, I think she's okay." And you see, it looks like Glenn has rolled up in his like shitty Chevy, whatever, Impala that he has like tricked out. I'm gonna write that down. But Glenn has rolled up in his Impala. He had actually pulled you from the fire, from what you can tell. And his like red hair is a little singed.
Yeah, I came back to find them, and I thought they may be in trouble, so I tailed you. I'm sorry for following you. But then the house lit on fire, so I dragged you out, and I tried to wake you up, but you wouldn't wake up till just now.
And then the ambulance guy's like,
like breathing treatment.
yeah, here's the wheezing, and pulls out a nebulizer from the back, and is like, I think he's going to be fine. I don't see any major wounds. I'd like to do this treatment and get him to the local hospital, if that's okay.
No, I don't need to go to the hospital.
Sir,
breathing treatment's good.
Can you roll me a persuade? And I think Glenn is going to be staring on, kind of.
Fail.
Cool. Glenn's going to try to do it too. Oh, sick. Pass. 57 on a 60.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't need the hospital. Just breathing treatment. I used to work in fire.
Yeah,
So I used to work in fire.
He used to work in fire. That's right. Yeah, he doesn't need anything. I'll take care. I'll watch him real good. I'll put him in the back of my Impala, and we'll take him home. I think he's okay.
ENT kind of is just like
The ENT.
EMT. Wow. Okay. The EMT is like Okay, that's, I guess, fine. You need to make sure that his throat doesn't swell up from smoke inhalation. I'm gonna let you go here.
Son, I've been doing this a lot longer than you.
Yeah. He knows fire. He's a real fire boy, so you can leave him alone.
And then Glenn kind of picks you up and helps you to the car, and the EMT is just like scratching his head.
Did I get the breathing treatment?
Yeah, he put
Okay.
you on the breathing treatment. You feel a little better from that.
Yeah. Thanks, Glenn. I can't handle the hospital right now. Was Springfield down there when you went down there? Or what?
No, you had kind of crawled your way up, so I didn't see anybody else. I didn't go all the way down though either. Was there somebody else in there?
Yeah, Dr. Springfield was down there, but I don't think
that's
he
a
probably
shame.
fared very well.
No, I imagine he is dead.
Have you seen Fruman or FP?
No, I didn't see anybody.
Okay, we've got to try. They both kind of took off. I think I try to see if I have my phone to try to call either of them. I probably try to call Fruman first.
Yeah. Well, why don't you roll luck to see if the phone's all fucked up or not?
3 on a 60.
Nice. Yeah, you can
These
give
amethyst dice are killing it.
you can give Fruman a call, but Fruman won't be answering at this point.
So I go beep 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 beep, bring bring, bring bring, bring bring.
And you hear his leave a message.
I'm like, Fruman, you fucker, call me back. And I just hang up.
Oh, he didn't answer, huh? He's probably hope he's
and
not
I
dead.
feel like I don't have FP's number yet. Probably.
I actually got his
Glenn,
number.
do you have FP's number?
Yeah, we exchanged drug numbers, so let me page him.
That's right, he has a pager.
Calls the pager.
Oh, I guess, do I have a cell phone?
Probably not, actually.
Yeah, no.
None of that happened.
Yeah. Take.
Yeah, so you guys, Glenn gets you into the Impala. You don't call anybody. Glenn doesn't page anybody. None of that happened.
Well, he could. I feel like Glenn's the type of person to have a car phone.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In his Impala,
so he
tricked
could-
out, yes.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Yeah, let me
like,
give it a shot.
yeah, why don't you-
let's do this scene again. It was really impactful. I'll go ahead and call him. Oh, it went to
think it's
voicemail.
good.
Okay.
I thought
Next.
it was good comedically. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but we leave a message. I can page our friend.
Please do.
Okay, I did.
Okay.
He didn't. I mean, it's a page, so
Well, I
it's not like
guess,
he calls me back or anything.
Well, I guess.
So, like, what happened? What was going on?
We went to confront Dr. Springfield
Uh-huh.
because, and his partner,
Oh, Joe Cardiff.
because we found out they were trying some rituals with this book, the book that we gave to you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been reading that.
Yeah,
It's,
and he was trying
fucked
to.
up.
Yeah, they were trying to do some rituals to bring Springfield back. I guess he'd been acting weird, and then we went into the basement, and Springfield was like writing with both hands, but different things with each hand.
Oh.
Math stuff with his left, and then with his right, he was just writing help.
Oh.
So, but then I don't know. FP had something happen, and he burned down the house. So, unfortunately, now I don't know where they are. And
Oh, well, I guess we could. What do you want to do?
I would like to find them, but maybe let's just go to your place and
Yeah.
hope that it's like a good meeting point.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. What do you want to listen to?
Do you have any Black Sabbath?
Oh, do I?
The beginning Sirens of War Pigs starts.
Thaddeus just closes his eyes and like leans his head back and makes it very obvious that he has no interest in talking anymore.
Okay. Cool. I think camera kind of pans out of the car and we pan up, and we see like this suburb with these large houses. One of 17 houses is burning down. One of 17 mansions. And there's a bunch of firefighters, police officers, all of that stuff. And your car kind of takes off before the police get a chance to question you. Okay, let's bring back somebody else.
3340638810 106285117W.
We're going to flash forward to you firing your guns off, running down the street. And we're going to kind of go black. And then where you're going to wake up is right around that lake.
Okay.
It's dark out now. You can see in the background the fire is raging. One of 17 homes is burning in this mansion. monsoon area. You're laying in some like cold, wet grass. It's probably maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's just very dark out.
Okay.
What I would like you to do, though, is to give me an alertness roll.
That is a 19, which is a pass. Do we do the house rule of if it goes off the table, you get to roll it again or choose it?
I don't know.
I don't think we ever decided on that.
I don't think we did. What do you want to do?
I mean, it's a 19, so I want to keep it.
Sounds good to me.
All right, sweet. It's all 19.
Let me set the scene for you. You wake up. It is cool. It's cold. You're a little wet. You hear the lapping sound of the lake beachfront. You are not on the beach. You're in some grass outside of the beach. As you wake up, you have like a vague recollection of everything that happened and chasing something towards here. Firing your guns off, being kind of crazy. I think you see that the sum total of the police and fire station people are at this giant fire that's raging. And probably the only reason that you don't have cops being called on you right now is there's just not really anybody to respond to, right? Because this is a small college town. It's pretty dark, except maybe not a mile, half a mile away around the lake. When you sit up, right, you get that whiff of water, and you see two flashlights moving around, kind of in the copse of trees. That would be, and so remember the lake sits between the college itself, and then north of it is where all the monsoons are, right?
Okay, so college, lake, drive around the lake to get to the monsoons.
To the monsoons, all 17 of them. And there is a forest that kind of is like almost like a naturally man-made like wall to connect or to block off, right, the college from where all the mansions are.
Mm-hmm.
The lake abuts right up against what is this like forest, and then there's only that one road to get through that kind of goes by the side of the lake. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. You are on the side with the trees because you've kind of rushed from the mansions to that lake, and in the trees you see what looks like two lights kind of moving around.
Okay. I think the first thing that FP wants to do, because he's a criminal and that's where his mind is at, is, oh shit, what have I done?
Sure.
How's the beach of this thing? Is it like rocky? Is it sandy? What is it?
It's pretty sandy. You are pulling up to an area that isn't quite like a place you could launch a boat off of, but there are definitely things around there where you could like launch a boat, because you saw all those sailboats right before.
Yeah. Okay. So what FP is going to do, and this is probably unnecessarily gamey, but whatever, FP is going to walk out into the lake a little bit, like enough to where he's not going to leave footprints, and then he's going to take his shoes off and proceed barefoot. How close are these flashlights to the edge of the lake?
They are coming towards the edge of the lake.
Okay. So I think what FP is probably going to do, how cold is it? I mean, it's
pretty cold.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's, what do we say, like October?
I think that's
September,
what we said, right? How come it's so hard to keep track of
We're
time?
so terrible at remembering what dates we set for things. Oh yeah, it's October. It's probably like October 4th or 5th.
Yeah,
we started
that's
on
right.
October 1st.
That's right.
Yeah, so I guess probably what FP is going to do is walk out. I guess he won't take his shoes off because he doesn't want to get his shoes wet if he can avoid it. So he's going to take off his shoes and socks, walk into the water so that he doesn't leave like shoe print tracks, and then walk into the water barefoot. Is there any cover that he can like approach these lights from an area where they're not going to see him?
Yeah, I think so.
Like he's not in their line of sight. Okay, then that's what I want to do.
There's like a little sand dune you could kind of get behind that then turns into the grass, I think, and you could hide. It's probably 4 or 5 feet tall is what I'm imagining. They're like littered across the sides, especially where the copse of trees all are. So you could get there, potentially take a look at who is out there.
Yeah, I mean, essentially that's what I want to do, because my first thought is, shit, are these cops looking for the person who ran off? And so I want to, like I say, take off my shoes and socks, wade out into the water so I don't leave footprints, walk a ways down the beach. How far off are these things? Like,
I said half a mile, but they're slowly approaching you. So you probably have...
I mean, a half mile is a pretty long way. I could walk, several hundred feet before we're reasonably close to each other. So yeah, I'm just going to walk like I don't know, a couple feet into the water, not like a couple feet deep, but like a couple feet out from the shore where I'm not like leaving footprints that anyone can trace, or that would make it hard to like find where I exited the water. Specifically, I guess if there's like a rocky point or like a boat ramp where I can walk out and not leave footprints, I want to do that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then essentially I want to approach these lights, and can I do like a listen?
Yeah.
Or
why don't you
a see?
Can you give me a
Did I do a look roll?
Well, why don't you give me a stealth just to see if you're able to kind of maneuver your way in while they're coming a little
That's
bit.
a 5.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to get over to there, and I think you hear some talking because at this point they're coming closer. I think you're able to peek out, and what you see are 2 people. One is a African-American gentleman, middle-aged, in a black suit with a tie and a white shirt, and then a smaller, younger-looking Asian woman in a black suit with a black tie and a white shirt. And what you hear is rustling about, and then you hear the man say, "Oh, I wonder where the fuck all this goes, huh? Oh, Olivia, come check this out." And he has a flashlight and he's looking at something on the ground. They're now probably maybe a couple 100 feet away from you, maybe a little further. "Olivia, what do you think about all this, huh? Eh?" And she looks down and she's like, "Noah, I think that's just a rock. I understand that you are looking for things here, but I think that's just a rock. We should proceed further." And then the flashlights start moving towards the water. Not necessarily towards you, but towards the water.
I probably just am going to keep watching. These people look like suits to me.
Yeah, give me an alertness.
That's a 3.
Nice.
Jiminy Christmas.
Okay. We'll say you see in the gleam on their lapels, they each have a Canadian flag.
FP thinks back. He's like, well, I haven't committed any crimes in Canada. He's trying to remember if he's ever even been to Canada. He's like, it's like, oh, I've probably sold some drugs that ended up in Canada. Could I be on a Canadian watch list? Oh, man. I guess specifically what I'm looking for, because again, FP kind of knows that these are like, he assumes that Delta Green is like a legitimate government agency. Like
Sure.
He doesn't really know anything about like eras or cowboys or program or anything. Like none of that is relevant to him. He literally got picked up by these guys and thinks that they're like a full-on like sanctioned government thing. So he's kind of like, okay, these look like some kind of Canadian feds. Are they here for the same reason we are? Obviously, they're not here investigating the fire, because why would Canadian law enforcement be investigating a random house fire in New Mexico? I kind of hate being inactive, but honestly, I just want to like watch them until I get some confirmation that they are here for weird things.
What ends up happening is they make their way towards the water, and you see the guy bend down, and he like dips his fingers in the sand, and he takes like a quick lick of it, and he's like, "Oh, Olivia, I think I taste a metallic tint to this. What do you think about that?" And she's like, "No, I don't. I'm not interested. We just need to go out to the lake. We need to see what's under there, and then we need to come back. So if you can just stop with the bullshit, that would be great."
So FP, I think when he sees and hears that, he puts his shoes back on, kind of tries to compose himself. I guess he's still wearing his vest at this point with his Pyromania t-shirt popping out and his tie tucked in. So he's still like dressed thoroughly, I guess, hipster to the nines, you could say.
Sure.
Because he's still got on like even his like dress pants that he wore for the fancy meeting earlier. So I think he like tries to make himself look presentable, kind of like puts himself together, and then he walks along the shore. And when he gets like far enough off that he kind of, you know, when you get that sense where you're like, okay, I'm close enough that they can like see and hear me, but like not so close that I'm going to startle them if I like say something. He says, "That goo tastes pretty weird, huh?"
Olivia, as you now know her, has been scolding Noah for a bit there about doing his weird shit, and Noah has bent over, is like got one foot, or is like on a knee looking around with his flashlight, and when that happens, they both kind of hop for a second and their flashlights turn at you. Noah's like, "Oh, we got ourselves a rocker here, huh? Were you following us, sir?"
No, I came from the other direction. I was out for my nightly stroll on the beach here, and I didn't want any of that business back there, so I thought I'd just keep making my loop around the shore, and I saw some flashlights in the distance and thought I'd, just come check it out.
"Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful place, huh? Eh?"
It is. This is my first time here.
"Oh, yeah?"
Yeah, I've been in town for a couple of days.
Huh.
I'm here on research. I'm with a guy from the University of New Mexico. We're trying to do a joint venture with one of the researchers here at the small college.
I think his ears perk up at you mentioning that. And he goes, oh, a fellow scientist, eh? You hear that, Olivia? And then Olivia's like, yeah, Noah. Yeah, we are here with the Canadian Institute of Health Research. We're both professors from McGill. We're out on a walk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too.
You're from McGill? I don't recognize you.
No. I'm not from there. I'm a lab assistant. I work with procuring lab equipment, beakers, Bunsen, and he tries to start listing off he's trying to remember the actual names for all the stuff he's used to cook drugs in the past.
Bernsen's burners. Yeah, we are also scientists, and we are here to talk with Dr. Springfield. I'm concerned that that's not going to happen anymore. Isn't that right, Noah? Oh, yeah. Looks like his house went up, huh?
Yeah. When I was making my loop earlier, it looked like it came from that area for sure. I don't know what he was doing in there. Maybe it has something to do with his research about folding sandwiches and eggs and such.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, good luck to you. We probably have to get back. And then the woman turns and Noah's gives you a wink and he's like, oh, partners, eh? And then he turns around too.
FP says, yeah, partners. Is there a reverse human? Can I try to get him to hang back for a second?
Would that be a persuade maybe?
I guess reverse human.
I'd like to roll reverse human, please.
Which would be I guess a 50 because my human is a 50. So if I'm doing anti-human, that would also
perfectly
be
down the line.
Let's see, persuade. But I don't want her to notice is the thing. You know what? How about I say, where the hell is my persuade? Oh yeah, my persuade's decent. I say, oh, sir, your shoe's untied. And I fail. For the first time, I actually actively want to try something.
Oh, no, it's not. And then he keeps walking.
Oh, sorry. It must have been a trick of the light.
And then, can you roll your power for me?
That's a pass, 17.
You get a very, 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 very brief but clear image of Thaddeus with Glenn sitting at Glenn's place.
Okay.
It's like a spider sense tingling kind of thing. Electrical shock.
I think I'd probably just go, oh. I didn't take any drugs tonight, so I don't know what that's about. Or did I? It's been a long day. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
I think as you say that, they kind of are disappearing out back into the forest.
You know what? I think FP wants to let them get far enough away that he could maybe surreptitiously follow them.
Sure.
And he wants to get a make, model, and potentially license plate if he can.
Why don't you give me a stealth for that, and then we'll bring Patrick in.
That's pass. 46 on a 50.
Yep. You get make and a model. They are driving a Isuzu Rodeo.
Yeah.
Yep. With a very recognizable plate to you guys because it was what the APB was out for.
Okay.
They kind of drive off, and they drive off back towards the college campus to where the hotels are. So.
Okay.
What's FP doing? And then let's bring Patrick back.
FP, for a brief second, thinks about shooting out their tire. And then he's like, no, that's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Damage control. Yeah. Damage control.
I love that.
And then he tries to orient himself to where Glenn's house is from here.
And I think you can I don't know about pretty easily, but you can. You'll be able, it's a small enough place, and you guys had visited his house already. So.
Okay. As he's walking back, he sort of uses his clothes to wipe off the two pistols that he used to fire into the house and just chucks one into one storm drain and then chucks the other into another storm drain.
All right.
33 40 638N 106 28517W.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
We got to speed up the non-everybody stuff.
I know. I hate doing it, truly, because it's always so boring for everybody. Or I guess what we could do is if we know there's going to be something, we could split up and do different timing things. So, all right.
It's just hard to stay in it,
Oh, yeah, 100%. Okay. Fruman has taken off running in a very cartoonish manner which I really enjoy the idea of him being like, oh, there's like papers flying everywhere and stuff.
Worm man, just like
it's
arms flopping
like
around.
a Kimbo
He's
and
like
papers
and
everywhere.
then he's trying to like hold on to everything and then like grab like pieces of paper out of the air and like pull it back into his.
It's very Scooby-Doo to me.
That's literally, I was getting ready to say like the first description, like Shaggy, like
it's like Shaggy doing all that, like with like the bongos playing shit. I think what I've done for the other two is that we fade to black a little bit, and then you kind of come to. You have ran out and away. Do you think he ran anywhere specific?
He probably ran to like the first waist high flat surface. And so I don't know if there's like a pickup truck in the neighborhood or something. He is running specifically to put these papers down and to start analyzing them. So he wants them to be like, again, like maybe like the bed of a truck.
Yeah, I love the idea of a bed of a truck. Yeah, that sounds good. I think you probably are like in a mad dash, in a fear of like, or in a combination of fear and like extreme obsession. And so I think you get enough away from this blazing fire that you're not at risk of all the cops finding you or anything. That's what I'm imagining. You kind of like taking off. There may be like a literal paper trail for where you're going, but at this point, that's not really that important. And I think you eventually find yourself in front of one of the mansions, one of the 17 mansions. You're in front of a different one, and there is like a super nice. There's a fucking No, they don't have Cybertrucks yet. There's a really nice truck. There's a Cybertruck. They had them back then. No, I like the idea of
first prototype.
Yeah, the first prototype.
Yeah,
which is what a Cybertruck looks like now. You find like a pickup truck.
I sent you the thing about it looks exactly like the GoldenEye truck.
Yeah, it 100% does. Like not even like it looks like somebody modeling it. It just like is somehow they pulled that into our reality, which I don't understand. I saw like a matte black one yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's literally the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't understand.
I honestly think that dipshit got like super high and was just like drawing shit out and like just pulled that out of his memory from playing GoldenEye as sort of like a young, like college age young adult.
Sure.
He's just like
100%.
put it into reality. He's like, here's our
He's
thing.
like, now we
He's
do
like,
this.
Yep.
I know.
Like fucking dope.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this looks terrible.
It looks terrible and doesn't function whatsoever. It's not a Cybertruck. It's a nice pickup truck. You've dropped the back of it down and you've got all these papers spread out. What are you doing with the papers and how stealthy are you being?
I mean, I suppose the question for you would be like, if we're doing fade to black, does that mean that the flight is now over and sort of like I'm in a neighborhood and I have like my faculties about me?
I think so. I don't think you'd be able to tell because it's still like night out. Just for record keeping stuff, it's like maybe an hour or two later, probably. I guess if you had a watch, you could tell it's like a couple hours later. You almost come to reading with all this shit out on a truck. You know what I mean? You like black into all this papers and stuff.
Well, so given his obsession with there's nothing unnatural, it's only things that we've yet to explain, I think that he would have been putting things into piles. This seems to be like this is...
Right. This is his crazy talk. This is the math stuff. Maybe this is more the esoteric social psychology stuff, kind of trying to organize it more or less.
Yeah, and I would imagine that he has like several colors of pens that he's
he's just
pulled out of his pocket, and he has red that he like circles, and it has some sort of internal logic to him.
I am gonna say, based on that and based on your encounter, I want you to roll me a 1d6.
3.
You get 3 in unnatural.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, I think, oh no, that just means your total sand goes down from that. You can now only have like 96 total sand or total grip, no matter what, but like whatever. I mean, eventually it may be a thing, but not right now.
Cool.
Yeah, you're highlighting stuff and looking through things. I think the way to explain that 3% of unnatural is you're like scratching the surface of something where you're like, oh wow, this could be potentially a big breakthrough from like a mathematic modeling standpoint that does not make any sense to me, but I'm like slowly seeing. I always imagine with a natural, it's like when you do magic eye and you like have to like let your eyes kind of like whatever, and you know how you're like always on the edge of seeing it. That's like always what I imagine with unnatural stuff is you're like, I'm like almost there and I can kind of put it together.
Honestly, I'm actually going to take that sort of illusion a little further.
Yeah.
What I imagine Fruman actually does with like how fucking smart he is and how he's looking at this, I imagine that he sees the math and understands the math.
Mm-hmm.
And then he understands the outcome, but like is very sort of confused about how the math gets it. It makes sense because he's like, wait, what? It's the magic eye where he's on the cusp of it blurs back and forth.
Yeah.
It's there, it's not there, it's there. And so it's that right as like the vision goes from like one to the other, and he cannot sort of calibrate exactly where
it is, right? And it's like you keep going back to look at different parts to be like, is this where I'm not understanding it? Like kind of, I think that happens. And then I want you to roll me alertness.
1.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I was just like, wait, is this 100? I was like, oh wait, no. 000 is 100. All right. Hot 1.
You hear behind you, we'll say you actually see what is a black SUV pull up across the street in a very, very silent manner. And with an Alt 1 alertness, it's more silent than what a combustion engine could ever do. This is definitely not a normal car, but you notice it rolling up to the other side and the quiet opening of a door. And you see a man step out who is dressed in a really, really, really nice looking, well-tailored navy blue suit. He's like this, probably mid-30s. When I wrote this guy, it's Scott Disick from the Kardashians or whatever, just like shitty slicked back hair, like just absolutely eminently punchable rat face kind of person.
Yep.
He basically, with your Alt 1, you realize that he is depending on the fact that his car is completely silent, that he pulls it up, he gets out, he checks you can see he's like looking at himself like closely kind of in the mirror, and then like flicks his hair kind of back and is ready to come start walking directly towards you.
Is there anybody else in the car that I can tell?
No, with not one, no. There's nobody else in the car. It is just this man.
And so do I notice him before he gets out of the car?
You notice the car pulling up. This was going to be, because of what he has, it was going to be surprising you. But with an Alt 1, he is walking around the car, I think. You're hearing just the faint click of like his expensive Italian leather boots on the ground, and otherwise he was going to get the jump on you kind of.
So what I think that I would like Fruman to be doing is to continue frantically circling and highlighting and looking like he's super busy, but he wants to make sure that he knows that he can feel his chainsaw on his back, and he's wiggling around to like get it. Literally the second that he gets within distance, he's going to drop like the charade of like looking through stuff at this point and flip chainsaw out like to neck of.
Yeah, I think with an Alt 1 on your alertness, all that happens. I think what happens is you're flipping through all your stuff, acting that way, kind of wiggling your chainsaw on your back. You hear the very faintest, softest click of his shoes, and as you approach, you get the whiff of some expensive cologne. And I think we have like a very quick moment where you flip around with the chainsaw pointed at, like close enough at him that you would be able to get at him. And he's like, oh, whoa, Dr. Lavelle, whoa. Let's calm down here. I'm just here to talk.
He is sort of like glancing to the papers back to this person. Who are you?
Yeah, oh man. And you can see there's one single bead of sweat kind of coming down his like otherwise perfectly almost makeup face.
And he's like,
the name's Mr. Jameson. I'd like to just talk to you for a second. And he pulls out, he has a card in his hand, and it's just like a business card. You can take this. I can drop it on the ground. I'm not trying to do anything.
Can he actually like see what's written on the card?
Yeah, he sees it says John Jameson. It has like a couple letters, after it, like MBA. And then monogrammed on there, you recognize March Technologies. That is a pretty meaningless thing to you, but it is on there.
Who the fuck are you? Why are you here? Why does your car not make noise? How do you know my name?
Yeah.
And he just like,
yeah.
Hey, now.
Yeah.
And he's like really like pressured speech.
John Jameson with March Technologies. That car over there is something we've been working on for a while. We got a little government funding to make things a bit more quiet. It's a pretty great ride too. Listen, Mr. Lavelle. Dr. Lavelle, excuse me. I'm here to put a bug in your ear. I'd like to talk to you about something if that's okay. My friend, the winds of change, they're blowing. Fear's a thing of the past. Understanding, it's a thing of the future. I think big things are coming in the next few years, and this is your chance to get in at ground zero, so to speak. We've heard of your work, and we wanted to offer a helping hand. I'm just out here trying to make a connection, give you some information, and then walk away. We don't have to do anything else.
Why here? Why now? And he sort of like takes like a little step further and like maybe like
flicks a little. Yeah, it's like
maybe like the collar of like said Italian suit, just like little. Zzz,
yeah, like gives him a little whatever. I've been waiting to make contact with you. We've had our sights on you for a while here. We just wanted to see if maybe you wanted to form a bit of a partnership. And why now? Well, hell, you look like you got a lot of paperwork there, and there's a fire over there that I think maybe you guys had something to do with, but now's the time to kind of make a getaway. So I thought I could help with that too, potentially.
Can Fruman roll? Like, Fruman's never going to be the type of person that can like understand someone's human. For Fruman is like non-existent.
Yeah. I love that we've like slowly come to the realization that it just isn't a thing that he's ever gonna do.
But I do think that there's like I don't know if there's like a bureaucracy role or like if there's some sort of like role. This is like such a foreign concept to him, coming from like academia and DG cowboy era stuff, that this fundamentally doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like what is this? What's your bureaucracy?
I probably should have looked at that before I said it.
I mean, bureaucracy is fine enough.
Oh, it's actually 50.
I kind of thought you actually had some because I feel like it's like part of what we were thinking with Fruman. So,
all right,
yeah, give me a bureaucracy roll, and I'll tell you. I'll give you information either way.
That is a 17.
Nice. Okay. What I will tell you is that as he is talking, you are kind of trying to figure out where March Technologies sounds a little familiar, and you have abutted up against March Technologies. You've barely in your career abutted up against this group. They offer a lot of high-tech, basically military equipment. I think probably March Technologies and one of its subsidiaries was going to give you guys a good deal on some PCR machines or some shit like you knew were from their government labs. They were used. You guys were going to buy them. But your dealings with March Technologies is that they are very much a legitimate company, and seeing this person fits with what your idea of when you guys were trying to do, when University of New Mexico was kind of doing dealings with March Technologies. You know, you didn't meet this guy, but you met this guy, you know, like as he was like giving you whatever. So this all like tracks and seems very like correct from the idea of like what March Technologies is. Now, the element of why is probably not quite as clear. Yeah, right. You know, that's like kind of a little harder, I think, for Fruman to understand and just in general.
I think knowing that, Fruman, he's going to give like one more chance to be like, I don't know where my friends are. And he like looks back at the papers. Why here? Why now? How did you know about this? And depending on the answer, I think that he's probably going to take chainsaw and swoop through the truck that's next to him.
Sure.
And like just like a swoop and then back towards the dude just to be like, I've lost a bunch of grip.
Yeah, I'm not doing super hot right now. Yeah. Hey. So the reason why here right now is that those papers over there, they're pretty interesting, I think. I haven't gotten to look at them. You don't need to show me anything. I know, though, that some of the crowd that you and your friends run with want to burn those papers down. They would rather than be in that house fire, huh? But I get the sense that maybe that's not quite where you're at. I'm here to offer you an alternative. What if we took a look at those, or you took a look at those without me? And he kind of like puts his hands up and it's like, and you just let me know what you find out.
What do I get?
Well, I'm happy to.
What's in it for me?
You see that car back there? You see that beautiful car? We've got a lot of things we could do to help you figure out what's going on in those papers. You know what I mean? We got resources. They're resources that I don't think you have access to right now, huh?
Man, I don't want.
Yeah, I'm very interested in what you want want this to be.
I think that the allure of like having someone like help Fruman figure it out, like he's like very much into that, but he's also like, I still don't know like what you're offering that I don't already have. Again, because he's like sort of right on the cusp of the magic eye of like blurry, not blurry, not blurry. So he's like, I might be there. I think that he probably is sitting there and like glancing back. What would he say?
Oh, I love when you guys are like, what would this now? What do I say now to this? Because that means that you have to make some sort of, maybe make a decision. Just
I fail to understand what you're providing me that I don't already have. The car is nice.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that. Here's the deal. You're probably going to get somewhere with this, but not everywhere. You're not going to get to the finish line, and that's okay. I'm going to leave you my card if you'll let me, and I can leave you guys alone. No questions asked. Here, and he kind of like takes the card and puts it like down. He like bends down very slowly, puts it on the ground. He's like, it's got my number. If you just ever get stuck, let me know. Happy to help. And then he kind of slowly starts to back off towards the car.
I think Fruman actually likes the finality of that sort of like card down, guy gets into truck, leaves.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, no pressure.
And he probably like grabs the card and then like immediately goes back to thumbing through stuff. And then probably like at some point, maybe that took its toll on him, probably goes back. I at least need to make some like notations.
Yeah, sure.
Put stuff in the right order.
Right. Starts like trying to tabulate the pages. Like this is page 1, this is page 2 of the math, this is page 1.
And then wants to spend a little bit of time putting that in order and then just like, what the fuck? Where are my friends?
Can you give me a power roll?
That is a 16 on a 75.
They're at Glenn's. They're at Glenn's. You get the flash of Thaddeus sitting on a couch, maybe drinking a cup of coffee. FP is laying on another couch, eyes closed, feet up. Glenn is brewing some tea for himself. It's like spider senses tingling.
Yeah. I put everything in like order and stash it away and make my way to Glenn's.
Love that. Okay, cool. Let's bring everyone back and we can maybe do like a little bit of a wrap up. And then we need to talk about what you guys are doing. Who you have. I mean, you can play more too, but who you guys are giving up to make room for Cardiff. And do you
oh wait, we're gonna specifically do Cardiff?
Yeah, unfortunately, he was there at the time that the thing happened.
Okay.
Yep. It doesn't mean you have to like Cardiff. It doesn't mean anything about Cardiff. It just means when this is the mechanic I made for the thing we're doing.
Specifically, though, it has to be Cardiff and not somebody else who is there.
So it's going to be us, you three. You are going to be all now have bonds with each other. 100%.
So I know that Arby's character had like used a bond, like projected that onto like the new bond onto Fruman, and like I'm wondering if like Fruman had like sort of like been like okay with it up until now, and then like this was like sort of like the flip of like,
oh yeah,
I am so concerned about Thaddeus. Like,
yeah, no, 100%. And unfortunately, it probably was happening naturally and a little bit not quite naturally. So like you guys are now going to have FP. And you'll have FP and you'll have Thaddeus as a bond. You'll have Cardiff as a bond, but you have to lose one bond.
Oh, so we're going to get multiple of the people.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
33 40 63810.
So.
Are you dead?
You're all dead. Apocalypse happened.
Dang it. Cthulhu reigns.
I'm not
reigns
dead.
supreme.
Whatever.
But I did break out the chainsaw.
He did.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. You guys all had really good separate things. It's so hard because I hate breaking us all up. And I know it like kills some momentum, but God, you guys all had such good things that happened. So
Yeah, I always feel bad also from a player perspective because I know it makes things harder for you.
yeah,
You're essentially writing like 3 stories instead of 1, kind of.
The thing though I'll tell you is that generally speaking, what I have in my head is as time progresses, here are the things I have. Here are the people in this scenario, and here's what they're doing. and then I can meld you guys into them, or you guys can ignore them completely. And so it's like not as hard as it seems, I guess, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna split up every time then.
Yeah, that sucks mainly just from you guys like not being together.
I mean, there are multiple downsides to it. I mean, it's nice. I like playing the closed
I do
game
too.
because
I love
it's kind of a fun.
Oh,
like,
I
what
love
happened.
you guys doing, especially when it matters to some degree, and you guys are each doing your own thing. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, with this one, it felt natural
Mm-hmm.
to be like, I'm gonna walk out and do what I did.
So I think if you don't mind me narrating, Fruman, what happens? It's probably 2:33 in the morning. There's a knock at Glenn's door. What we see is the door opens. We see a very, very tired looking Fruman with his chainsaw on his back. FP, you're on the couch with your feet up, I think. Kind of maybe taking a nap, if that's okay. Sleeping a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
I think that
Thaddeus is still awake for sure.
Oh, 100%. Thaddeus is drinking a cup of coffee.
And I'm like sitting, kind of legs spread, elbows on the knees.
Because remember, Glenn always sets up his pillows everywhere for people to sit, like lotus, like meditating pillow area with it's got. I always imagine, and I don't know if I said this, but like in the middle, there's like a giant rock garden that he just like messes around with, and there's like maybe like a waterfall thing that's got the bubbling water, and he's just doing acid.
Does he have a little Zen garden?
Yeah,
patch
100% Zen garden. He's just doing. He's just high as fuck dealing with it. But Glenn is making some tea. The tea whistles. We see the door open. A very tired-looking Fruman walks in, and yeah, Zaddy is drinking maybe a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. Kind of, I think FP's passed out.
How long have we been at Glenn's waiting for Fruman?
Hour, 2 hours. It's probably 2 to 3 in the morning, and I think everything you guys did happened around somewhere between 9 and 1 in the morning. Like is kind of the
I think my thing was at 1, so I probably got to Glenn's at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, and then we'll say it's like 2:33 is when Fruman shows up. Glenn's like,
oh, you're here too. Great. You want a cup of tea?
Fruman like bursts in and whatever like is at the center of the lotus with all of the pillows.
Yeah.
Pillows, like if that's like the Zen garden, he just like moves all of the rocks and like smooths the
like
the sand
yeah.
and starts like laying down the papers, and he's just like guys, there's this calculus over here, and it's pretty advanced, and I'm not going to explain it right now, but these are predictive models, and this is actually sort of projecting human behavior. It is predicting what people are it's predicting what they're gonna do. And then there is a guy and his car didn't make any noise, and I cut a truck with my chainsaw and he gave me this card. And then he goes back and is like intensely studying the sheets of paper again.
I think I take the card and I look at it.
Yeah, I'll just pour you a cup of tea over here. Okay.
The card says John Jameson, and it's got like MBA, and then it says March Technologies.
March Technologies, okay. John Jacobson?
Jameson.
Okay.
Please listen.
March Industries.
Oh,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. You want a cup of tea? I got one ready.
Yeah, sure.
It's chamomile.
And I'm like, now what?
Do you want honey?
What is this? What's this truck that you cut in half with the
I got
chainsaw?
raw honey and I got like normal honey. Do you want honey?
Glenn, I don't think anybody cares about the honey.
Oh, sorry. I'll just do raw honey.
No,
You'd like one also? Okay. No problem, FP.
What the fuck happened?
Do you want honey or? Yeah, you want honey. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
We were in the basement, and then I was looking at these pieces of paper, like outside one of the mansions on the bed of a truck, and this other like weird, nice truck thing pulled up, but it didn't make any sound. And this skeezy, oily, slick back hair motherfucker just like stepped out of the car. And I'm just trying to look at the papers, and he knew my name, and he knew about us, and he knew about the fire, and he knew about everything without me telling him. And he gave me that card and said that they could help. And I didn't believe him, so I cut a truck in half.
His truck?
And then, no.
Oh, different one.
The one that I was working on.
Casualties of war, unfortunately.
little collateral damage.
Okay.
It's just a threat, just to show what the chainsaw could do.
Okay, asserting dominance against this man with what is being described to me, and I'm envisioning a Cybertruck. So.
Nice. That's literally what we talked about.
Really?
100%.
It was like a 2-minute conversation about Cybertruck.
FP was laying on the couch thinking, this sounds like an electric vehicle.
I'm like, Elon Musk came out of that
I
Cybertruck.
fucking love that.
100%. Yep, that's exactly what we all talked about. Yeah, so long story short, I found myself like looking at all these like diagrams. I happened to notice very, very accurately this person roll up and hear them ahead of time. And I was able to like wiggle my chainsaw from the back, like under my arm. And then like as he walked up, it was just like holding it out to like threaten. It was like, who the fuck are you and why are you here? Again, like I have like all these papers and I was trying to like analyze them. And then like, honestly, that's about all I know about this dude is
Okay.
wants to help March Technologies.
What did he look like? You hear FP say from the couch, he's got like a beanie that he pulled from somewhere that's like pulled down over his head so he can sleep. So you can't really see his face and he doesn't really move. He just kind of says that. He's like, what did he look like?
I love that.
Glenn walks over and puts the cup of tea on your chest and just balances it perfectly.
FP takes the tea up off his chest with his hat still like down to here and he just like
Zips.
like his mouth is
Yeah, that's good.
That's it.
He was really fancy. He had like a suit. It was navy, I think, and slick back hair. And
Did
Any
he
accent?
no,
Did he seem like he
Okay.
was from Delta Green or not from Delta Green, but knew what we were doing?
no, it was way too organized and put together for us.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I have no idea where the fuck he came from. And despite me cutting the truck in half, he maintained his cool the whole time. It was kind of fucking uncanny, and he seemed essentially nonplussed.
So he's comfortable with car demolition is what I'm learning. Okay. Well, should we call him?
Wait, like he looks up from like all of like the papers and she's like, what? How'd you guys get here?
I walked from the lake.
Oh, Glenn picked me up. All I did was get a breathing treatment and avoid going to the hospital. And then I came here.
What?
Yeah, Glenn found me in the house, apparently, and dragged me out. And I woke up to the EMTs trying to take me to the hospital, but I said I just needed a breathing treatment. And then Glenn drove me here. We tried to page FP from the car phone, but I don't think he ever called back.
What kind of pager was this? Was it a psychic pager?
I don't know. Glenn says he has your pager number for drug purposes.
Yeah, I did give him that. You know, I don't think my pager went off, but when I was by the lake, I had a weird flash of you being with Glenn, and so that's why I decided to walk here.
Well, maybe we should go to the Burger King and figure it out.
I figured out the Burger King thing.
What?
Well, not the Burger King
Stop
thing.
everything. This is the new mystery.
At this point, FP sits up and pulls up his beanie so that you can actually see his face. He's like, so when I was by the lake, I ran into two people who they said they were scientists, and they may have been, but I think they were lying. I think they're something like you guys. They were Canadians, I think. They spoke like Canadians, and they had Canadian pins on their jacket.
Like us guys, meaning like they're Delta Green agents?
Well, is Delta Green like Canadian? I didn't think it was.
No, they have the other one. What is it?
Mills? They said they were from Mills or something like that. I didn't.
Can I roll?
I'm new to all this agency
Sam,
stuff.
can I roll like a no roll?
Charlie Crimson,
Or like a
Canadian
intelligence
version.
roll to know what that is, or bureaucracy? I don't know.
Yeah, you can roll.
Because I've been in Delta Green for like 10 years, so I feel
You
like
can roll me a
maybe-
bureaucracy.
I don't have a good. I suggested that.
Not
Do
it.
I also get to roll it?
Yeah, you
Do I
can.
also get to roll
Yes,
this?
everybody can roll me a fucking bureaucracy.
Why did I choose bureaucracy?
That's a critical failure on my part.
I-
88.
Yes. The game gods are blessing me.
I just normal failed.
You know nothing.
I'm like,
Jon Snow.
I'm like Canadians. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, so at any rate, Yeah, the Burger King thing, the time loop, or what we thought was a
Mhm.
time. Well, I don't know why I thought it was a time loop. It's
So did
not.
I.
It's
Yeah.
Canadians in a blue Isuzu rodeo with the same license plate that the APB was out for.
It's not a time loop. It's Canadians. Mic
Yeah.
drop.
Classic. That's the title of this episode. It's not a
Yeah,
time
and
loop,
it's Canadian.
It's Canadian.
And so they said they were scientists and they wanted to meet with Egon. And then they said, well, it's probably not going to happen now, which makes me think that they...
Know that he's dead.
Is he dead?
Oh, I assumed he was dead. I don't know. Glenn didn't find anybody else but
I don't
me.
know. I ran away after firing wildly into the house. So I
Yeah,
didn't
thanks
go
for
back
that, by the
for
way,
obvious
FP.
Yeah,
I forgot we didn't
Look,
deal with that.
Like, Fruman
Hey,
at this
so-
point is just like, wait, that was you?
Yeah, what the fuck
Okay,
happened there, dude?
You know what? You know,
Thaddeus, what the fuck? This guy.
I have now formed a bond with him, so I can't let him go.
FP puts his head down, pulls his beanie down, and starts doing this on his temples, and he's trying. This is really a bad idea.
I'm like, okay, Fruman.
Learning about this.
At what point
Fruman
do we
is
gain
fucking
unnatural
pissed.
skill? FP is what FP
Yeah,
is trying
Fruman
to
would be
do
pissed.
is recreate the mind meld.
Yeah, I think I also am like, wait, that's right.
Nope.
You are the one that shot in. What happened?
So I
And as I'm doing this, I'm like holding Fruman back with my arm. I'm like, no.
Oh, I love that.
It also is not very hard.
I'm like, don't grab this.
It's
And
not
Fruman's
particularly hard to
like
do.
actually trying to press hard, and you're just like, no. It's like,
Zaddy.
look, I was trying to do the whole human bro thing with Cardiff and understand where Cardiff was coming from. And then Fruman reminded me that this isn't like Mr. Rogers' happy hour, that there's real shit going on, and that if I didn't want what happened to my family to happen to other families, I needed to take this serious. So
you
I knew there
fucking
was
dum-dum, don't blame this on me.
no. I'm not no, I'm the one who burned the house down. You
Like,
opened up
what?
my eyes. I realized. What? Yeah, that was me.
I say
Why
something,
did you do that?
burn buildings
Well-
down? What?
I thought that whatever was happening here was like the evil smoke from the cave. So look, there's something that we got to get straight here, because I thought this whole agency thing was a legitimate operation, and now you guys are not sure who these other agencies are. I'm not trying to turn this around on you. I just
Yeah, what
maybe
does
we
this
need
have to do with
sit
you?
down and have a talk about what's going on, because I don't know why you guys were even outside that cave.
What
Bring
cave?
it back down
Oh,
to
the cave where
relevant
you
point.
went, yeah.
The relevant point. I've been
So
hanging
you
out with
just
you guys
really
for
want to talk about butt plugs, is what
Oh,
I'm
well,
hearing.
I mean, why were you after? Were you after the one that was there? Look, we can talk about that after this. There is some pressing issues.
Why did you burn down the house? That is what I want to know.
Yes. So I burned down the house because I thought there was some sort of existential evil there. And when I looked in the
I know
window,
about that.
I saw you and Cardiff and Egon, and you were all standing around, and he's doing some weird writing shit. And then this ghost fish or whatever flies past me and gives me these crazy hallucinations. I thought you were all in on it. I mean, think about it from my perspective. I'm getting chased to death. I run out of this cave, freaking, dusk till dawn style, flee for my life. These two dudes pick me up.
fucking life.
I think
Well,
at this point, Thaddeus walks over.
I kind of knew that, but I didn't know that.
As this is as this conversation's happening, and he says he thought that we were in on it. Thaddeus kind of walks over to FP and kind of grabs him by the scruff of his shirt, because I think
The vest and the tie.
yeah, I think I think Thaddeus's thing, and we talked about this, is that he has nothing else. This is all he has, and he sees Fruman as a son, and he. Spoiler alert: when we do the Bonds thing later, FP is now going to be his new Bond. And so he is seeing this as family. And so he walks up to you and he kind of grabs you by the scruff and he was like, we do everything together. We are not against each other. We never turn weapons on each other. Do you understand that?
FP just kind of leans in and puts his head on his shoulder and gives him a hug. And he's like, yeah, I realize that with the mind meld, which is why whenever I decided I needed to murder something and I went crazy, I was trying to murder the ghost fish that flew past. because after that happened, I realized it's not you guys. It's whatever this is.
You guys slowly feel another set of hands encircle you as Glenn
Just Glenn.
comes over and is like,
Yeah, this is great. I love you
I think
guys.
as that was going on, I think Truman is just so mad that like Hug like head over his shoulder and just flicks FP as hard as he can, like in the middle of the forehead,
just a
and
giant
then joins the hug
Yeah.
with his like big, long, goofy arms.
Yeah, his big old arms. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't think Thaddeus is much of a hugger. So he's just like, as soon as the hug happens, he kind of tightens up and just pats everybody on the back
Not
a little
expecting
bit.
Yeah, that's everyone on the back.
He's
It's
like,
good
okay.
game, good game, good
Yeah.
game.
And now I have a bond to FP. So
FP steps back and says, "Thanks, Dad," and then punches you in the arm.
and I'm like, no problem, FP.
He gives you a wink and a finger gun.
And then I turn to Froome and I'm like, so what? Anything else you learned about whatever this shit is? Otherwise, should we just call this guy?
I think that I need to take like a better look at all of this before we call him. I don't know how they knew that this was happening, or why they knew to show up, or why they had this weird electric truck in 1997 or whatever fucking year it is.
I literally looked this up earlier.
98.
98. October 98.
Yeah, I don't know. Before we call him, I think that we should, I don't know, maybe set it up, plan, scope out a spot to meet them. He sees FP raise his hand. What?
FP? Okay.
God damn it.
So there's also these Canadians, and they seem to be doing the same thing that we're doing.
Where are they
There
staying?
was-
Did you find out?
well, they headed back in the direction of the hotel, so they might actually be staying at our hotel.
Yeah, I guess we know what kind of
I
car
mean,
they have.
La Quinta
so.
Inn draws a very wide audience and offers an
Excellent deals.
Excellent
Yes.
continental
And
breakfast.
excellent continental breakfast.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's
Like
where I
you
go
done for
every
listening,
morning.
You would accept
like it
a
smash
sponsorship?
Smash that subscribe button.
Give us a 5-star rating on Apple iTunes.
As I was
Yeah.
laying on the couch and just trying to process everything that's happening, it sounds like we've got creepy mystery guy, and then we've got other people who may be legitimate agents. So what happened was I kind of spied on them for a little bit before they actually I made myself known. They were clearly tracking the goo. Remember the weird silvery,
Mhm.
gross tasting goo into the lake? The guy agent tasted it, by the way, so it wasn't as bad idea as you thought. Someone else did it too. And then I told them that we were I maintained our cover. I told them we're researchers. We were here to meet Egon from the University of New Mexico. We had some other doctors that were here, and they said
Wait,
they wanted to
what?
do that too.
You maintained our cover?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I
Oh,
didn't want them
snaps.
to. I don't.
You hear
I
going
mean, they're
snap for
Canadian.
you.
I don't. I mean, not that Canadians are evil, but they look like. I mean, they were wearing freaking Vincent Vega, Jules suits. They looked like total G-men, and so I also wasn't sure if I might have a drug rep in Canada. I've never done anything illegal in Canada, but I might have sold drugs that ended up in Canada.
Truman is so impressed that you didn't fuck it up. It's like he just pulls out the dry erase board of good idea, bad
idea.
idea. Was
Yeah, you did it.
good idea. It's like, huh.
What I'm getting at is they seem to be on the same level that we are, both in the sense that they're tracking the same thing, but they're in the dark. They're not creepy, super, ultra evil government man.
Well,
if
they're
that makes sense.
Canadians.
Whereas
They're
that's
nice.
the vibe I'm getting at from your other guy.
Should we go talk to him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you guys are the agents here. I'm just a guy that you picked up outside of a cave full of.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I
demonic butt plug.
think we do need to talk to the Canadians. I think we do need to eventually call this man, John Jameson, because I have a feeling he's going to show back up. But right now, I think that we need to sleep. And I look at Furman.
Fine, but FP, you fucking dipshit. How do you think we all started in this? Welcome.
Was there no orientation packet?
No, this is not an organized thing.
Oh, wait.
I got inducted because I saw a fire I wasn't supposed to see.
Well, I thought there was like government clearance for that stuff, right? Like look at.
Nope, you get a magic
Nothing
butt plug,
official.
You get a magic chainsaw. You see some shit in the fire. Welcome.
You get a bunch of weapons. They go, good luck.
So there's no. Wait, but why were you guys there then?
We were doing something else.
Oh,
right time, right place.
Yeah.
okay.
Roll
Just-
sanity.
well, yeah. Absolute silence for the first time ever.
Yeah.
FP is like in his mind, he's trying to think back through all the different drug deals he's done where like completely unrelated things come up. And he's like, yeah, I guess that does happen. He's like trying to do it. He's thinking like, yeah, there's that time I tried to do a drug deal in a bathroom and a police officer came in and had diarrhea and we just had to play it cool.
Had to act like you weren't exchanging coke under the bathroom stall.
I covered by asking for a courtesy flush. Okay. Yeah, I almost thought about flushing the product down on that one, but I didn't. Thankfully, it wasn't a sting. It was actually just a cop who really had diarrhea. Okay, all right.
Like,
I guess this makes
can
sense.
definitely
What are
see
you
how this
talking about?
applies. Okay.
Yeah, that checks. That checks out to me.
So
Yeah, Glenn knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, cops with diarrhea fuck up all your drug deals.
yeah, maybe we crash here and in the morning we go try to find the Canadians.
Oh, sure. Sleepover.
I also really would like to know what's happening with the thing at the bottom of the lake.
Oh, what now?
I'm like, Glenn, do you know about the thing at the bottom of the lake?
No.
There's like a dome at the bottom of the lake.
Oh,
And
It- like-
it's stone.
okay.
You ever heard about Miller's Creek?
No.
Wasn't it Miller's?
Yeah, Miller's
How do you
Dam
feel
and Miller's
about
Creek.
swan boat?
Oh, big fan.
We're great at driving them.
Yeah, I love swan boats. I love love. It's just so beautiful.
Glenn, you strike me as someone who might practice breathing methods that would facilitate free diving. Is that?
Oh, oh,
yeah.
Roll free diving.
Yeah, I used to do free diving off the coast of
The Philippines.
the Philippines, I guess. My wife has just said.
My wife. Glenn just has a wife that's been sitting there silently.
She's a
this whole
ghost.
time.
She's a ghost. We got married when she died. But yeah, I can do a little free diving. Why?
No reason.
Cool. So you guys want to spend the night here?
FP
or-
just pulls his beanie back down and lays down on the
Yeah,
couch.
I'm like, I think the Azusa Rodeo is back at. Unfortunately, it's still at the house,
at the mansion.
which is surrounded by cop cars. So we may need to wait to get it back.
Oh, that's fine. I'm happy to have you guys here.
Wait, my Susie Rodeo?
Yes,
Fuck. Okay.
I was not in a shape to drive.
No worries. Yeah, it's fine.
Do we need to go? Would you like to go get it?
we did have a legitimate reason to be there.
I think that Truman like is just shrugging that off and like goes back to the papers and will probably fall asleep like
Going through
Yeah.
the papers.
like slumped over.
Okay. Why don't we stop and do two things? Everyone needs to tell me what bond is going away.
Your favorite birthday present.
Ooh. Ooh. What
Ever.
a fucking question, though.
I don't know.
Favorite birthday present ever.
I can't even think of a single
Dude, I'm
one.
writing that down in like a thing that like gives you a lot of information about somebody.
What?
Wait, for our characters or for us?
No, neither. Can you
Neither,
tell
neither,
me-
or both.
So everybody needs to tell me who their bond that they're leaving is, and yours, Jimmy, yours was father. What?
No, it was Daniel Rogers, the boys club guy that I like was sort of my surrogate father growing up.
Because this is, Patrick. What bond are you losing?
My pre-med shadow, Terrence Burke.
And then Aubrey.
Mine is my friend and roommate Brian from Boise State.
Brian.
No, Brian.
I think
Cranston is his last name.
Brian Cranston.
Yeah.
I think you guys, as you sleep, you have fitful dreams, and in each dream, there are large moments you've relived with those people. So, yeah, everybody describe it, actually.
I'm imagining that I'm at like on like a basketball court in some sort of like crappy like boys home place where they just have an open gym, and he is like shouting at me to like play the sport better.
He's like, sport.
Yeah. He keeps like telling me, he's like, no, you got to post up like this. You got to, and like every time he shouts at me and corrects me, like he just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger until like somehow I'm small and I'm like a 1 foot tall person on this giant basketball court with this giant Daniel Rogers telling me like, you're not playing the game right. You need to play the game better. If you don't follow the rules, then you're nothing. And I'm like, I've never followed the rules. I've done all the drugs. The drugs are against the rules. And I just wake up in a cold sweat and I'm like, ugh.
Can everyone else give me a brief description of their dream with that person?
Yeah, so mine I think starts with kind of what you described is I run into Brian at the daily grind at Boise State.
It's called Grinder.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, no, it's called Grinder.
Yeah, we meet at this
Nice.
this coffee shop called Grinder, and he is reading the same book that I'm reading, and so we talk about it, and then it sort of flashes to us moving in together, and then just an ad nauseum montage of us telling people that we are roommates, that we are friends, that we are roommates, that we are friends, over and over again.
Yeah.
And then eventually just sort of wildfire builds up. Like we are like kind of stuck in like the woods in a clearing and there's just a ring of fire around us. And it's just like going roommates. And then I wake up in a cold sweat.
That's good. All right. What about Terrence Burke? Ooh, I love that.
So Fruman actually sort of like very like vividly dreams about like Terrence walking in, and Fruman is just so excited that somebody wanted to actually like Terrence signed up to like do this rotation and to like, you know, be a part of this. And so he is just like every autopsy, everything, he's just pointing out everything. And then it flashes by like body after body after body. And there's just like Fruman just like pointing at all the things. And then after a while, and he's like, he gets accepted to medical school. And then he's just like, what's this? And then Terrence is like, I don't know. And he's like, it's Terry's minor. And then like flash forward to like another body. And he's like pointing, he's like, what's this? And it's like, Terrence is like, I don't know. And Fruman's just like, this is the lateral collateral ligament. And just like getting more and more like sort of like antagonistic with it.
It gets to be more basic things like, this is the mitral valve. How could you not know this?
Yeah. And then like it ends with him shouting, and he just like visualizes like the antique Grey's Anatomy pictures, all of the topographical, when they're like did like the shading back in the days where it's like a bunch of lines. And he's just seeing like, again, sort of the magic eye behind that.
Yeah.
And there's like something blurry that he's like trying to see behind the anatomy pictures. And there's something there. Terrence is like, but what is this? What is this? And Fruman turns away. Bully is trying to like reach out for
it's gone. There's just like the spotlight falls on poor old Terrence and then gone.
And then he turns back to the table and it's Terrence that he's dissecting.
Oh,
that's good.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, good.
I thought that's where you were going.
That's excellent.
Sorry.
Ooh, I love all of that so much. Yeah, I think we're all Garfield, actually.
I fucking do love lasagna.
Yeah, you do love lasagna. I forgot about
It's
that.
really good.
When I was growing up, my family used to say that one of our my cousin had really bad acne.
No.
And they always said that it's because he ate too much lasagna. And when he would pop it, it was lasagna coming out.
Oh my God, that is disgusting.
Gross.
And I was young
Lasagna.
enough to be like, wow, if you eat something too much, it starts coming out of your skin.
Out of your pores. So they're just saying like, this is ricotta as he like
he just like
it explodes.
Just some tomato sauce and ricotta.
Oh, that's gross.
That was around the same time the neighbor boy told me that a porpoise is just a dolphin with its head cut off. And I fully carried that with me for 5 years of my life. And I was like, why do they have a name for that? That's crazy.